The Light 95.9, are you ready? Ooh, I am so excited. We have Rebecca St. James with us, who will be appearing at the beautiful Ohio Star Theater tomorrow night, Saturday night, 7 p.m., Worship with Rebecca St. James. And I am just amazed reading all about you and keeping up with you. I know you've been around. We know that, and we're glad you're back. You've been back. You've just been maybe taking it easy, but I don't know about that. But a Grammy Award winner and multiple Dove Award winner and so many things. And tell us a little bit about Amazing Grace with your brothers for King and Country. How'd this all come about?
Yeah. Well, Jim, thank you for having me. And you're so sweet. That intro was so lovely. Such a blessing. Yeah. So my brothers are in King and Country, Joel and Luke. They're two of my 5 brothers. And I'm just incredibly proud of them and how God's using them. And they're just the real deal. They're just fantastic people. And some of my best friends. They live pretty close down the road here in Nashville. And so, yeah, they had Amazing Grace. They were doing it, I believe, for a soundtrack, and they just asked me to guest on that, and it felt like a very natural thing. And so that family blend is something that we've obviously always had, and they used to sing background vocals out on the road with me, so there's a lot of history with singing together.
The song, I understand, but just reading about this, from his, one of my favorite, utmost for his highest.
Yes.
Oswald Challenge. You know what? When I read it, I go, Oswald, you're killing me today. Don't do this.
He's amazing.
Don't do this.
So challenging.
Yes, it is. So that's what it's all about. I just think that's marvelous. Plus, my goodness, you're an author. Oh, you have time to sleep? I mean,
yeah, life at certain points has been pretty crazy. A lot of moving parts with touring and recording albums and writing books, and I've done a little bit of acting too. Mm-hmm. But you're right. You said it kind of at the beginning of this interview. I did take some time off the road, and I really needed that. I had nearly 20 years on the road, starting very young in my mid-teens. And so I just kind of needed to live a normal life for a while at home and just soak that in, because that had really been my dream. Like the whole time I was singing, the main thing that I think I really longed for when it came to like a dream of the heart was to get married and have a family. So I took about 5 years when our daughter was born, a little before that, to just to be at home and to not be on the road. And then in this season, my husband and I have felt called to embark on the road together and do it as a family. And we have another daughter now too. So it's just very special season.
I was going to ask you, that's my next question. How is the family? I mean, do you have a great summer?
Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, we've had a really great summer. We had a show. This is so crazy. We actually had a show in Paris that got booked kind of last minute. And so we got to go over there as a family, and I got a book for our daughter, just kind of explaining all about Paris and about a child, with their grandfather in Paris, exploring it. And so we got to hit up these amazing locations and worship with a wonderful church there. And so there was things like that just were kind of sweet surprises along the way for our little family, and I just feel really grateful for this season.
The many years you've been on the roads and you've been in the music business now, God is using you. I'm going to put you on a spot. I don't mean to. Is there one particular song that comes to mind when you were on the road, somebody come up to you and said, you know what, that song means so much to me? I mean, that song means, you know what I mean? It's sort of, can you just share a success, I call it a glory story.
Totally. Well, actually, every song kind of has its own journey, and, the feedback from it is particular to that time and that season. But there's a song that I'll be doing Saturday night that is really powerful, like currently, and it's on my last album, and it just seems to hit home with people's hearts and lives in this just radical way. And it's a song called You Make Everything Beautiful. And it's really a song of hope, because I think a lot of people, and I've just gone through lots of different seasons in my life. And my husband and I, we've kind of recently come out of a season that was very difficult, a winter season, and involved miscarriage and just lots of life transition and kind of curveballs in our life. And we're real upfront about that, because God has just brought a lot of hope and a lot I don't know, a lot of beautiful things out of that time. And so the song says, "You make everything beautiful in your time." And it's just a real encouragement to people to hang in there and to cling to God and trust that He's doing something good, even in sometimes the agony of life, that He can redeem anything. And so that'll be a theme that, and a message that'll come out of the show, and also a song that I know will touch people's hearts. I've just seen people weeping through that song. So the Spirit of God definitely moves through that.
Wow. So powerful. I'm sure it is. Well, let's go back one other time before you go. Let's talk about your lead acting role in the film Sarah's Choice.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, was that a great experience for you?
It really was. It's actually, acting is something that I'd wanted to do since I was 8, or actually younger than that. I feel like I was 5. When I wanted to be in The Sound of Music. I saw that like at the Broadway show in Sydney when I was growing up in Australia. And I just thought, gosh, that would be so amazing to do some acting. And so I moved to California about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, and had some opportunities out there to do some acting. And I loved it. And Sarah's Choice especially was a profound experience for me. It's my first lead role. It's a pro-life movie. And it was just a very, very sweet opportunity for me, and a really great ministry opportunity too. I was able to travel and encourage pregnancy centers and go to banquets for them and sing and share there too. So that was great.
Powerful, powerful message too in the
Yes,
movie. It really, really
absolutely.
was. And one other thing, your book. Wait for me. Anything coming up in the books?
We're not talking about it right now, just because there's kind of a lot of other ministry opportunities that are happening. I'm recording an album right now with Bethel Music, and I'm very, very excited about it. Actually, later today I'll be heading in the studio for our second official day of recording for it, but we've been writing all year for that. So, just prayers for that would be much appreciated.
Okay, before you go, we'll ask you this. How can we as a body pray for Rebecca St. James and family?
Well, obviously, I think one of the biggest things is just covering over any families in ministry. The enemy is going to be out to tag them and bring them down. And so just covering for our little family. We have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and, we will be on the road together. They'll be at the show coming up, and it'll be, it's such a special time. But just covering for our family, and then just strength and wisdom for the opportunities that God is bringing us right now. There's some really exciting things that are happening, and I'm really thrilled and just so appreciative of being able to be used by God. I mean, you know that, Jim.
Yes.
It just feels like a honor for any of us as believers to be used in somebody else's life to encourage. And so I just, especially after being out of the scene for a while, I just feel so appreciative of the opportunity to be able to serve God. So, just the opportunities that we have right now, I would just love prayer for that. People will be finding out here pretty soon some of what we're up to, but it's an exciting time.
Well, I appreciate you giving us some of your time. We will continue to pray for you and thank you, and just keep doing what you're doing and be a blessing to everyone you come in contact with. God bless you.
Thank you, Jim.
Rebecca St. James, appearing tomorrow night at the beautiful Ohio Star Theater. Worship with Rebecca St. James, tomorrow night, 7 p.m.